Shalom, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Y'all about to send me out Shabrakatah. All right. Hey, we had some difficulties yesterday. The video went live prematurely, but it's all good.
Yeah.
All right. And we ain't gonna hold y'all too long this morning anyway. We're probably just gonna be in and be out. We're gonna make the point. Hey, you got any announcements or anything you want to make out?
Come to camp this weekend, man. We're gonna have a nice camp. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, be looking out for the feast days. We might start holding major feast days in North Carolina. Certain major feast days in North Carolina. That's in the works. We might do that pretty soon. Just stay in touch, man. You know, that's it.
All right. That's right. Okay, so we're gonna get right into the edification. All right. Make sure you got your KJV Bible in the Apocrypha. You're gonna need both of them for this one. And I'm really not even gonna be in the Apocrypha too much, so we're gonna be straight. But we dealing with the idea of nakedness as it pertains to the Book of Genesis. All right. And other places in the Bible, and we know that nakedness represents, in some places it represents shame. All right, and in some places it represents transparency with the Most High. All right, transparency with the Most High. So we're gonna deal with that. Let's get Genesis 2:25.
The Book of Genesis, chapter 2, and verse 25. And it reads, "And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed."
You see that? So nakedness cannot equal being ashamed. It cannot equal being ashamed. Now, sometimes it represents you being ashamed, but in this situation, it can't equal being ashamed. Right here, it represents the fact that they were transparent with the Most High. The Most High knew exactly what they was doing. They knew the Most High knew what they was doing, and they was not ashamed of that because they was following the commandments that was given unto them. All right. Let's jump over to verse 7 in chapter 3.
This is Genesis chapter 3 and verse 7. "And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons."
Hey, so at first they was naked and not ashamed. Then after they ate the fruit, they realized that they was naked and they tried to cover themselves up. Right? So they tried to hide their nakedness. Now they trying to hide from the Most High. Right? This is where nakedness becomes a problem. In our time now, we all do things that we regret. So when it comes down to it, you don't want to be naked in front of the Most High. You want to be able to repent and have a clean slate. But now you're commanded to have your proper covering on.
Right.
All right. And that's why when you come into the feast day in the last days, it says that the man without the proper garment was cast out of the feast.
Right.
All right. Jump over to verse 21, same chapter.
Verse 21. So page sticking together. All right. "Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Most High Power make coats of skins and clothe them."
All right. So what's important between these two verses, when you read in the structure of this chapter, is showing you a pattern, right? First they was naked and they was not ashamed. Then they realized they was naked and they tried to sew fig leaves together and make themselves aprons. Right. But as we get to verse 21, we realize that the Lord ended up making the proper garment for them. Right? It's not enough. It's not enough for you to just cover yourself with your own garment, with the fig leaves that you found in the field. No, you can't do that. That's covering yourself with the doctrines of the other nations. And we know that trees represent men, and we know that their fruit represents their doctrine. All right? So we can't cover ourselves with the doctrines of the other nations. All right? That's why verse 21, the Lord ended up having to make coats of skin for them, and he covered their nakedness. All right? So that's a main point when you're breaking this idea down. Now, let's jump over to Hebrews 4 and 13 to understand the idea of transparency.
This book of Hebrews, chapter 4, in verse 13. Neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight, but all things are naked and open unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do.
Hey, you see that? All things are naked in front of the Most High, man. There's no way you can get away. The Most High know everything you're doing. Says his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. All right? Shalom to everybody that's in the building. Shalom to everybody that's in the building. All right? So you can't hide from the Most High. So it's a futile act to even think that you're getting away. So what we got to do is we got to cleanse our way. Psalms 119:9 says, how shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to his word. All right. That's how you're going to cleanse yourself so that you can have on the right garment. All right. Let's jump into Isaiah 30:1. This is going to be a short lesson, family, but we got to get back in here and give you the chop shop, man. We got to get it back.
God, definitely. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that taketh counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
Hey, you see that? Didn't Adam add sin unto sin? Right? Didn't Adam add sin unto sin when he sat there and tried to cover himself with the fig leaf? Because he had already sinned, eating the fruit that he was not supposed to eat, spiritually speaking, right? He had already sinned by doing that. So then when he went and tried to cover himself and tried to cover his nakedness and not admit his fault and tried to hide from the Most High God, that right there was adding sin to the sin he already committed. That's what Isaiah 30:1 is telling you. And it says, they cover with a covering, but not of my spirit. You see that? So if you're going to cover yourself with the covering, let it be of the spirit of the Most High, man. Don't try to cover yourself up and hide your sins from the Lord, because he sees that. He sees that sin anyway. All right. And it's just going to make you look stupid. It's like that little kid. They still got crumbs on their face, but they said they didn't eat the cookie. It's like, yo, we already know you did it, man.
Right.
All right. Let's get Job 31:33.
God. It's the book of Job, chapter 31, and verse 33. And it reads, if I cover my transgressions as Adam, by hiding my iniquity in my bosom, did I
Keep going.
Did I fear a great multitude? Or did the contempt of families terrify me that I kept silence and went not out of the door?
All right. So I just wanted him to be able to finish his thought. But notice what he says in verse 33. He said, if I covered my transgression as Adam by hiding my iniquity. You see that? So covering yourself not with the spirit of the Lord equals hiding your iniquity. And hiding your iniquity is not being transparent with the Most High God, man. Right? It said Hebrews 4:13 told us that all things are naked before the Lord. So what you hiding iniquity for? Right? If you come before him humbly and you repent, then he will be faithful to forgive you. All right.
So, like,
go ahead.
I got a precept real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Zechariah 3:4, I think. I'm tripping. Hold on. Let me see if that's what I want.
All right.
Yeah, Con. It says, I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments and stood before the angel. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from thee, and will clothe thee with chains of raiment.
Mm.
And I said, let them set a fair mitre upon his head. So they set a fair mitre upon his head and clothed him with garments. And the angel of the Lord stood by.
That's heavy.
Gone. So that's just another precept showing That change of apparel wasn't talking about like we thought when we read it when we was in the Christian church. They
Right.
found some leaves and actually sewed them together and put them on because
Correct.
they noticed, dang, I don't got no clothes on. No, that's not
Right.
what
Right.
I'm talking about.
That don't even make sense anyway.
Right.
They walking around naked. They don't know they naked. They eat this fruit and now they realize they naked. You know what I'm saying? But think about it. It makes perfect sense if you put it into the proper perspective, as the brother said. Because look, this is an example of the Lord covering somebody,
Right.
right? The Lord giving them a change of clothing and wiping that slate clean, right? And that's why you read about the white garments in the book of Revelation. That's why you can see things and illusions in the wisdom of Solomon. All right. Let's jump into let's get Isaiah 47:3. Let's explore the idea of shame a little bit.
This is the book of Isaiah 47 and verse 3.
And matter of fact, let's start at 1 and read down to 3.
Verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Now, Salaki, real quick. So when it says daughter of Babylon, right? And we explained this briefly in the breakdown before, but when it says daughter of Babylon, we know that the Babylonians was displaced by the Persians. It ain't like the Babylonians was able to have children and continue to fill the face of the earth with cities. No, the Babylonians was put out of power by the Persians, and a lot of them was probably put to death right on the spot, right? But when it says virgin daughter of Babylon, it's speaking to the remember when Nebuchadnezzar had the dream in chapter 4 of Daniel, and the statue, the head of gold was Babylon. Then all these other kingdoms came to follow it. The virgin daughter of Babylon will be one of the kingdoms that comes in that line. All right. And we know that Esau is the end of the world. So that's why we can call Esau rightfully the daughter of Babylon. All right. Come on.
Verse 2. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. And Slakia, I will take vengeance. I will not meet thee as a man.
Hey, you see that? So when it says uncover the thigh, make bare the leg, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, then it says thy nakedness shall be uncovered. It's a lot of wickedness that the daughter of Babylon has already done. It's a lot of wickedness that they've done and they've hid their hand. Right? Yo, you got actual pictures of Esau hiding his hand in his garment because he's showing you that it's a hidden hand. Like it's stuff he's doing behind the scenes that you don't know about. Well, guess what? The Most High God said, you're not going to be able to hide your hand for long. We're going to know exactly what you did, and you're gonna reap the benefits thereof, man. Right? You're going to reap the punishments and the repercussions thereof. So that's why the Lord is speaking like this. But once again, we can't make the word naked equal with shame, right? Sometimes it's representing your shame because they've done shameful acts. But it can't be equal with shame for the reason that we showed earlier. All right, in Genesis 2 and 25. All right, now let's get Habakkuk 2 and 16.
Salaki, you said Habakkuk 2 and 2.
16.
Come. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. Salaki. I'll pass it over. Verse 16. I always pass over this book. Hold on.
Yeah, come on, it's in there, man.
There you go. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 16. And it reads, Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on the glory, on thy glory, Salaki.
Hey, you see that? Shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Right? What are we talking about? Shameful things are gonna be on the things that you hold so dear and you so proud of, man. All those secret works that Esau was proud of. Yo, the Most High speaking kind of crazy right here. Like he coming at them like he said, uncover your foreskin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when it says shameful spewing shall be on your glory, your foreskin is your glory. Like you trying to hide that, right?
Yeah.
You trying to keep that to yourself. But the Most High said, go ahead and uncover that. Like that's crazy, man. So we just gotta think about the imagery of what he's saying. Like all the stuff you was proud to do, but you hid your hand after you did it, that's gonna come to light, and I'm gonna put blood on it. I'm gonna spill blood all over everything you've done. Like I'm gonna destroy you, man. All right, because we know that the Lord is a man of war. He not playing with these nations. That's why it's impossible for y'all to get salvation. Oh man, they crazy, right? All right, let's get into it. Last precept is Isaiah 20 and 2. Isaiah 20 and 2.
Right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 20 and verse 2. At the same time spake the Most High by Isaiah, son of Amos, saying, Go and loose the sackcloth from off thy loins, and put off thy shoe from thy foot. And he did so, walking naked and barefoot.
Come on.
And the Most High said, Like as my servant Isaiah had walked naked and barefoot 3 years for a sign and wonder upon Egypt and upon Ethiopia, so shall the king of Assyria lead away the Egyptians prisoner, and the Ethiopians captive, young and old, naked and barefoot, even with their buttocks uncovered, to the shame of Egypt.
Hey, that's heavy, man. All right. So that's the Most High just bringing shame upon these nations, right? And we know that in the final days, that same thing is going to happen because the scriptures tell us that they're going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation and they're going to be groaning and repenting. Let me get that in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. Already got it. Chapter 5 and verse 2. I'm going to start at 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. And repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, This was he whom we sometimes had in derision, a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. Now he is numbered among the children of God, and his lot is among the saints. You see that? So in the final days, they all gonna be naked. They're gonna be ashamed of the acts that they've done, and they're gonna be ashamed of the fact that we are higher than them when we used to be their servants. All the crazy stuff Esau be saying about you, and all the crazy stuff Esau teach about you to his children, he gonna have to eat all those words, man. All right, by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. So, hey, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all for being on. That's gonna be it. And y'all have a blessed week. Shalom.
Shalom.